Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We welcome all the devotees for this 2 days Bhagavatam session. And first of all, we thank His Grace Divyanam Prabhu, Arvind Prabhu and Yamuna Mataji for giving this beautiful opportunity. And September 2nd, we're all going to celebrate Bhadra Purnima. So, in connection with that, for the next 2 days, we will be discussing the glories of Bhagavatam. So, I would request devotees to pay attention in this online program because it is not very personal. Then you will have a lot of opportunity to sleep. And sometimes devotees, they turn off the screen and they sleep off and the connection may be on. And we will be thinking that you are all attending Bhagavatam, right? But don't worry, even if you sleep in Bhagavatam class, it is considered very glorious. And I am sure all of us have done that seva of sleeping in Bhagavatam class, right? It is very, very glorious if you sleep in Bhagavatam. But I would request, not to sleep for the next 2 days. So, somewhere the Mahatmya of Bhagavatam says that we should listen to Bhagavatam instead of hearing Bhagavatam. We should listen to Bhagavatam, and 4 living entities are given as example how people listen to Bhagavatam. 4 jivas, 4 living entities. One is hornbill, that is what you call Jataka bird. In Sanskrit it is said Jataka bird, and in I don't know what they say in Tamil. Tamil they say Vedambal Paravai. And Telugu, I don't know, what do they say? So Jataka bird, it's a tiny bird. So Prabhuji, Rajesh Kassa, are you from Andhra? So what do they say for Jataka bird in Telugu? Yes. Okay. Oh, is it? Okay, very good. Chataka Pakshi. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So, one thing maybe just so that you won't sleep, when I ask question, you can type answers in chat box. In this way, you can be interactive. you know. So, Chataka Pakshi, it's a very, very special bird. The bird is very small and the beak of the bird is very, it's longer than the bird. And the beak has two tiny holes. Very, very strange creation, this bird. This is like a radar of a farmer. In those days, when the Jataka Pakshi goes around up in the sky, the farmer will understand it's going to rain. Because this particular bird will not drink water from the river, not from pond, not from ocean, not from streams, not from tap. It will only wait for rains. So when the bird happily flies up in the sky, the farmer will understand that it's going to rain. So they will only wait for rain. So Bhagavatam says we should listen to Bhagavatam like that. Because if you take any chapter, if you take the end of the chapters in Bhagavatam, there is something called Falashruti Shloka. If you read this chapter attentively, you will get good children, you will get wealth, all your diseases will be, cleared off. Your pitras, your forefathers will be very happy. So many things would be said at the end of the chapter. And in the middle of the chapter, Krishna will be clearly saying, Shukdev Maharaj will be writing there that this is all Maya. So which one you will take? The shloka from the end of the chapter or the shloka from the middle of the chapter? Because in the middle it says, it is all Maya. And in the end it says, if you read attentively, you will have good children, good family, lot of money, good health, you will become handsome. So many things are said. So this is a beautiful marketing strategy of Vyasadeva, who has given that Falashruti at the end. When the Falashruti becomes very attractive, people will read the whole chapter, then they will understand, okay, what is right and what is wrong. So, in the same way, there are so many things in Bhagavatam. We should be like that Chataka bird, only looking for the rain and nothing else. That's the first one, Jataka. And the second one is swan. Swan, what do you know? Annapparavai. In Telugu also maybe swan. Okay? This swan, you don't see the swan anywhere else apart from Manasarovar in Himalayas. Anybody had been to Manasarovar? If yes, please type in your chat box. Anybody had been there? Yes, Hansa, correct, Hansa. True. So, okay, I don't think anybody had been to Manasarovar. Amazing place next to Kailas. And unfortunately, that is in China now. Very saddening. In the present day, Lord Shiva has become Chinese. He is no more an Indian, he is a Chinese person. So you have to go and take visa from China, 1-day visa, and they will put you on 1-day quarantine because you are going up something like 8 kilometers above sea level, like perpendicularly 8 kilometers above sea level. Oxygen is very thin. So the Chinese government will put us in quarantine for 1 day. Now they have stopped the visa. Then you can go to Kailas and you can see Lord Shiva. And next to Kailas is this beautiful Manasarovar lake. So clear, amazing place, and we can see so many swans there, Hansa. So this swan has got a very, very special character. If you give milk and water in a bowl, the swan has the capacity to suck milk alone and give back water to you. Have you seen any bird like that? Like you mix, milk and water. Suppose you mix milk and water and give your children. Can they separate milk from water? The swan will do it. A very special bird. That's why it's called Hansa. Very, very special. So we should listen to Bhagavatam like Hansa, like swan. Take milk alone and give away water. So the first one is Jataka bird and the second one is swan. And the third is crow. However you serve the crow a feast, a wonderful cuisine, the crow will still show interest in the garbage bin. In India you can see the crows will sit on the top of garbage bin and pull things out. Even though there is a wonderful feast served the other side, it will go to garbage bin. So the third is crow and the fourth is mosquito. Jataka, hornbill, swan, then crow, and the fourth is mosquito. Mosquito, even though the mosquito goes and sits on the udder of a cow where we can milk, it will still suck the blood. Even though milk is available there, the mosquito will only suck blood. So Bhagavatam says, we should listen to Bhagavatam like swan and hornbill, Jataka, not like crow and mosquito. Is that clear? Thank you. So, the first two living entities shows us example how we should listen to Bhagavatam, and this next two says we should not listen to Bhagavatam like that. So, we should be hankering to get the essence of Bhagavatam. Any line in Bhagavatam can change the course of a person's life. Just one line can change. And unfortunately, when that line is spoken, we might be sleeping. We will miss the chance, right? So, any one line, and Puranas gives example of Vilvamangal Thakur. That one line spoken by Chintamani. Chintamani told Vilvamangal, are you a fool? Are you a fool? Just wasting life like this. That one statement spoken by Chintamani. I hope that you all know the story of Vilvamangal Thakur and Chintamani. Yes or no? Can you type? No? I hope you all know that story. Chintamani and Vilvamangal Thakur. No? Okay. So maybe in between we will explain that. That one line changed that person's life. This Thakur, Vilvamangal Thakur from Karnataka, border of Karnataka and Andhra. Many Andhra devotees are here. I don't know whether Karnataka people are there, right? So somewhere in the border, and is a businessman, and he used to travel frequently, and in one of his travels he got connected to a dasi, Devdasi. Her name was Chintamani. Got very deeply got attracted to Chintamani. He can't survive without, that attachment has gone so deep, so severe the attachment was. He couldn't forget her. And at any time, every moment he is thinking about her, meditating on her continuously. Puranas gives a beautiful shloka. If you constantly think about four elements in this world, the four elements will appear in front of you without fail. Once again, if you think about four elements deeply in this world, these four will definitely appear in front of you. One is disease. If you constantly think about the disease, oh, I feel like I got something, I feel uneasy, I got some trouble in my stomach, I feel, if you think like that, if you meditate on Vyadhi, disease, the Vyadhi will definitely appear. Within few days you will get that disease. Second is snake. If somebody is meditating, thinking of snake all the time, invariably within a month they will see snakes. Right? And the third is ghost. Bhuta Preta Pishacha, ghost. If somebody is thinking of ghost regularly, they will definitely see the ghost. And fourth is Vishnu, Narayana. If somebody is thinking of Vishnu daily, regularly, they will see Vishnu also face to face. So these four elements, Vishnu, disease, snake and ghost, if you think of this element continuously, and you will definitely meet them. So better to think of Vishnu instead of thinking all the other things. Right? So this Thakur, this person, Vilvamangal, was constantly thinking of this Devdasi Chintamani. And one day it was a stormy rain, thundering, and there was like rivers like flooding everywhere, heavy rains. And on that day night, Vilvamangal Thakur's father passed away. And his dead body is lying there. His father's body is lying there, and Vilvamangal Thakur is still thinking of Chintamani. What a pathetic situation. Father of our nation, Sri Mahatma Gandhi, in his autobiography he has written, he had a similar experience. You can go and read that book. He had a similar experience. His mother passed away, but he was paying attention to something else. This is what is attachment. Attachment, sometimes it can make us blind. We will be so blind and so, attached that we want to attain that. So his father's body is lying there. Still he was thinking about Chintamani. Without performing the final rites for his father, Vilvamangal Thakur ran in the dead of the night. In between this heavy rain, he went to meet Chintamani. Look at the sad situation. There was rain everywhere, storm, thundering, and trees were uprooted, and even the roofs of the house were floating. Cattle were sucked in the water, and he in the dark is trying to swim, and logs of wood were cutting his body, he was bleeding. Still somehow he wanted to see Chintamani. And the water level is increasing. He couldn't swim. Then he saw a log of wooden log floating on the river. So he jumped on that log, caught hold of it, and he was swimming and trying to cross the river. And somehow he reached the gates, the huge gates of Chintamani, compound wall. And the gates were very tall, and he saw himself, his clothes and all were torn, he was bleeding, there were bruises all over his body, and he was thinking how to jump over the gate, and he was screaming, Chintamani, Chintamani. But in the rain, heavy rain, nobody could hear him. Then he saw a rope hanging from the tree. He caught hold of the rope and he climbed and he pulled himself and jumped the other side and went and started banging her door. Chintamani came out and she was like shocked to see this man in this rain, all bleeding, clothes and all torn. Then Chintamani said one word. If you would have taken this pain to understand, you would have attained moksha. She said that statement. And how come a Devadasi spoke that statement without any connection? It was simply Lord's causeless mercy. So you are all devotees, got connected to Satsanga, association, program. The first person who appeared in your life, he might have come to sell you books, introduce you to Krishna consciousness, invite you for a satsang. The first person whom you met in your life and who reminded you about Krishna is not a normal person. He was sent by Paramatma in your life. So that's why we should respect that person. He just, not by chance, all of a sudden he came in front of you. Because you were chosen by Krishna, chosen by Paramatma, and Krishna sent that man in your life to remind you about Krishna. So, Guru appeared on Chintamani's tongue, and Guru wanted to deliver Vilvamangal Thakur, and she spoke that statement. If you would have taken the same amount of pain in understanding Narayana, by this moment you would have gone back. But that single statement very deeply penetrated Vilvamangal Thakur. In Mahabharata also, once Vidura got so wild and he chastised Dhritarashtra, that one line changed Dhritarashtra's life. Right? Recently, some days back, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj passed away. He went back to Krishna's abode. I am sure many of you might have seen him or things like that. Maharaj, in his experience, he said, one line what Prabhupada spoke to me carried on my Krishna consciousness for the next 40 years. One day when he was very young, hardly 18 years old, very young, Maharaj was in Prabhupada's room. His responsibility, his seva, everything got over, but still Maharaj is hanging around in Prabhupada's room. Nobody wants to leave Prabhupada, they just flock around Prabhupada like bees around the flowers. So Prabhupada looked at him, raised his eyebrows and asked, what? And Bhakti Charu Maharaj didn't have anything to say. He simply wanted to remain in Prabhupada's room, that's all. So Prabhupada smiled at him and said, this one lifetime, please dedicate this one lifetime for the pleasure of Krishna. We have taken millions and millions of lifetimes. Maybe in last Janma we were kings or ministers, sportsmen, maybe like a mosquito in Delhi, UP, maybe a snake in Nagaloka. Who knows what we were? Maybe cockroach. We had a cockroach wife, cockroach children, cockroach family, and we had cockroach songs also. Who knew? No idea. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. It's simply some mystical blessings that we have got this human form. That's why Prabhupada told, dedicate this one life for the pleasure of Krishna. That one statement very deeply penetrated Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, and he said, that drove me, like 40 years in Krishna consciousness. So we don't know that the moment of transformation, that particular moment when we will get completely transformed, that's why we should serve Bhagavatam daily, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We don't know when our heart will get transformed. Right? So, Vilvamangal Thakur completely, that the word spoken by Chintamani was so severe. Then he was thinking about it all the time. Then he came back. And when he came back and he performed his father's rite and he was repenting, what kind of a personality I am? I didn't do final rites for my father. He was cursing himself. Then once his father's rites were over, he was trying to meditate on Krishna. But what happens, whenever he sees a beautiful woman, his mind again goes back behind him. So he decided, I will renounce everything, then I will take sannyas. I will go to Vrindavan and remain sannyasi. I will completely renounce this world. Nyasa. Nyasa. From the word nyasa, sannyasa comes. Sannyasa means total renunciation, which is like a deepa, a lamp. The wick and the oil, they burn themselves, they commit suicide and they give light to the whole world. That is sannyasa. Candle. The candle destroys himself and gives light to the whole world. A sandalwood kills himself and gives aroma to the whole world, and that is sannyasa. In sannyasa life, there is nothing called I, aham. They completely dedicate life for the service and pleasure of Krishna. Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sachamena pranashyati. They see Krishna in every nook and corner, and they don't miss Krishna even for a moment. So, Bilvamangal Thakur decided, let me take sannyas. Then he took sannyas and he was going to Vrindavan. He was traveling to Vrindavan by foot. From Karnataka, Andhra, he was going to Vrindavan by foot. And it so happened, he had to cross Sauparnika river. So he was about to cross Sauparnika river, and the previous day he slept on the bank of that river, and early morning he saw a young lady. She came to fetch water from the river Sauparnika, and she collected water and she is going back home. And immediately this Bilvamangal Thakur's mind again, following that lady. And in the early morning hours, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the sannyasi is following this lady. His mind is still not under control. And the lady got scared. A sannyasi is following me in the early hours. And she started running. And she went and banged the door and informed everything to her husband. Husband came out and saw a sannyasi standing. And he asked, what can we do for you, sir? Why are you following my wife? Then Bilvamangal Thakur said, O Grihastha, Bhikshan Dehi, I need a charity. Give me some Bhiksha. Then the husband was a little confused. What do you want? Okay, please ask, what do you want? If I can give, I'll give. Then he said, please give me the hairpin from your lady's hair, from your wife's hair. In those days, they used to have a long hairpin, which is like a U, inverted U or something, that long one hairpin. So he asked that one as a charity, and the husband was completely in shock. They gave it. And Bilvamangal Thakur took that hairpin and he plucked both of his eyes. He plucked both of his eyes and prayed to Krishna. This is the door for this Atma to get trapped in this material world. This eyes which I've got is so powerful trap. Please, I'm not able to think of your lotus feet. So I am giving this as an offering to you. And he plucked both his eyes. Then he remained blind in Vrindavan. And he wrote the famous book Sri Krishna Karnamrita, which Lord Chaitanya loved so much. And towards the end of his life, Krishna appeared and gave him the vision back. Anyway, that's a big story. What I'm trying to say is, one line from Bhagavatam, you don't know which line it would be. It has the capacity to change the whole life. a transformation can take place. That's why we should not hear Bhagavatam, we should listen to Bhagavatam. And as I said, it should be like the two living entities, like Jataka and Swan, not like crow and mosquito. We should listen to Bhagavatam like Jataka bird and Swan. Take up that essence which can transform our life. Okay? So that is a tiny Mahatmya. We will slowly enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are two lines of prayers which the local Bhagavatam people who chant, which I liked very much. So we recite these two lines of prayers for Bhagavatam. Jaya Jaya Bhagavata Deva Jaya Jaya Bhagavata Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Swarupa Jaya Jaya Bhagavata Deva Jaya Jaya Bhagavata Jaya Jaya Bhagavata Deva Jaya Jaya Bhagavata Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Swarupa Jaya Jaya Bhagavata Deva Jaya Jaya Bhagavata. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So there are many Mahatmya stories from Bhagavatam. The famous one is Gokarna and Dundukari, the two brothers, and that is like a very recent one which happened, and that happened in Goa, Maharashtra, Gokarna. Anybody from Gokarna? Border of Maharashtra and Karnataka. If anybody is there, they can type in their chat box Gokarna. No one? Thank you very much. Okay. At least you have been to Goa. Many of you would have gone to Goa with a different purpose. But, Goa is a holy place. Go close to Goa is Gokarna, and there is Shiva temple, Atmalinga. It is explained in Ramayana. One among the 12 important Lord Shiva's temple. There are 12 holy places where Lord Shiva eternally resides in this material world. Starts from Rameshwaram, Kashi, Gokarna, Sri Shailam, Ujjain, then Nasik. There are 12 places, it's called Jyotirlinga, where Lord Shiva stays eternally. So it's a beautiful story from Ramayana. Am I boring you? Sure. Supriya, Janava, Didi. I can see them. Okay. Not getting bored? Okay. Thank you. So, okay. Many people have said, many devotees said, no. Thank you. Right. So, it's a beautiful story from Ramayana. Actually, Ravana is a wonderful personality. He knew Vedas. He was one of the best musicians. A Brahmana who follows all the rules and regulation. He had only one problem. That is, he was very deeply attached to women. And that's the only one. Because of that, all his good qualities were destroyed. Because of that one bad thing which Ravana had. And his mother knew that very well. His mother's name was Kaikasi. Kaikasi. Ravana was a son of a Rishi and a Rakshasi. Odd combination. Ravana's father, Vishravas, was a great saint. And his mother was a Rakshasi. So he had connection with both. Connection to sages also, connection to demons also, Like all we Kali Yuga people, we are like that only. We have connection to divinity also, we have connection to demons also. Right? Because we are in Kali Yuga. Totally there are 4 yugas which you might know. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara and Kali. In Satya Yuga, all the goodness were with the devas in Swargaloka. And all the negative things were with asuras in Patal Loka. Like 2 different lokas. It is like 2 different lokas. In Satya, good and bad, 2 different lokas. Then came Treta Yuga. Goodness with Ayodhya, Koshala with Ram, and all the negative with Ravana in Lanka, 2 different countries. 2 different planets. Initially Satya Yuga it was 2 different planets, and Treta Yuga it became 2 different countries. And in Dwapara, good and bad became 2 different families, Pandavas and Kauravas, you see. 2 different planets, then it became 2 different countries, then it became 2 different families. In Kali Yuga, goodness and bad, negative, both are within one person only. Morning he is such a wonderful, great Mahatma, and the same fellow will become Ulta in the night. All within one man, in Kali Yuga. So Ravana had a divine and demoniac connection. And his mother knew about it. Kaikasi knew that very well. So Kaikasi told Ravana, either you give away lust to women, or somehow you get mercy of Lord Shiva. Because either one of this can save you. Otherwise nothing can save you. You will be killed by the hands of devas and your life will be ruined. Either you give away lust for women, or you somehow get mercy of Lord Shiva. So Ravana said, giving away lust is very difficult for me. So I will try to get mercy of Lord Shiva. So Kaikasi gave the whole idea how to get mercy of Lord Shiva. So Ravana went to Kailas. On the way, Kaikasi instructed Ravana very clearly, this time don't think about any woman. Just go to Kailas and get Atmalinga, the Shivlinga from the heart of Lord Shiva. And you bring that Shivlinga to Lanka, nobody can touch you. So Ravana went to Kailas. So when he went to Kailas, there he saw a golden color lady, beautiful woman, lady. She was like, playing in the garden, plucking flowers. So beautiful she was. So Ravana went behind her. And she climbed the Kailas mountain and Ravana started following. And just to scare that lady, you know who she was? She was Mother Parvati. Ravana went behind her. So, just to scare her, Ravana, he has 10 heads and 20 arms, and people think, it is all like a myth, it is not real. Some sages in those days have written some fantasy and, it is not real. That's how people think. How Ganesh can have long nose? How Ravana will have 10 heads and 20 arms? They won't believe. How Hanuman has got he has got tail? They don't believe. But the modern youth, they're very happy to believe Harry Potter and Superman who wears the innerwear on top of his pant. People believe him. Spider-Man, no problem. They believe them completely. But when we say Hanuman, no, come on, you're bluffing. Nobody can be like that. What an amazing rationalizing intelligence they have got. Right? This is the system of education. Have you at any point of time in your life, have you doubted, did Jesus really existed? Was there a person called Jesus 2000 years back? Have you ever doubted Jesus Christ? No. But just another 3000 years back, Krishna was there in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka. No. He is a myth, it's a history, it's like a story, it is not real. People don't believe. That's how we are taught, that's how we are conditioned. We are tuned to think like that. We are personalities. There are 14 planetary systems. If you go down, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. Patala, when we go to Patala, mind and spirit, influence of mind and spirit is less and machines are more. As we go up, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, Satya, machine is less and spirit is more. And Patal Loka, their machinery system, the matter, exploitation of matter is far out than what we see in this material world. And in Ramayana it is explaining, Indrajit went to Nagalok once and he saw flying palaces, flying mountains, all sorts of things, and he got bewildered. Ravana's son Indrajit got bewildered about what he saw in Nagaloka. So it's all real. It is real. So Ravana, with his 20 arms, he lifted Kailasa hill and he wanted to impress Mother Parvati. So he was playing, throwing up the Kailasa and catching and playing with the mountain. And Parvati called Mahadev, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva appeared and pressed the whole mountain with his toe. And Ravana's arms got trapped. So with the remaining arms, Ravana tore his belly open and he pulled out the small intestine, large intestine, everything out. And it is true. Our intestines are something like quite meters long, I have heard. I'm not sure, 100, 200 meters long. It's all put inside. He pulled those intestine out and made a musical instrument called harp, H-A-R-P. In Tamil, they call it Yal, beautiful instrument. Then he sang a beautiful raga song to please Lord Shiva, and that raga is Shankara Bharanam. Have you heard this raga? Abharana for Shankara. Actually, that raga was created by Ravana. Ravana is very good in music. That is how in music you have Devaraga and Asura Raga. You have both in music. Devaragas are there and Asura Ragas are also there. Because Ravana was very good in music. So he created this raga called Shankara Bharana and he sang it so beautifully. Lord Shiva became very, very happy. Then Lord Shiva asked, okay Ravana, what do you want? And this time Ravana didn't lose his focus. He said, I want Atmalinga. And Lord Shiva obeyed. Lord Shiva took a linga from his heart, from his heart. It's called Atmalinga. And gifted it to Ravana and said, Ravana, take care of this linga. As long as you serve this linga, no enemy can touch you, even stamp your shadow. You are all powerful and you will be more mightier than you are now. Ravana became very happy. And with the Atmalinga, he is going back to Lanka. And when he was going back to Lanka, Devas were very disturbed. They did not know if Atmalinga goes with Ravana to Lanka, that's it, we are finished. So they sent Lord Ganesh. Ganesh came in between because today is Ganesh Chaturthi. We will connect it to Lord Ganesh also. So Ganesh ji came in between and he played some tricks and took linga from Ravana's hand and dropped it on the ground. The moment you place it on the ground, you can't take it back. And that place is called Gokarna, where Atmalinga of Lord Shiva is there. So Ravana went back empty-handed, right? So anyway, Ravana was not very successful. So that is why Ganesha is called Vigneshwara. Generally, people have misunderstanding. They think if they worship Ganesha, all the obstacles will be cleared. It is a wrong notion. I don't know about your country. In India, if you don't pay electricity bill, the electrical department, they will pull your power off. They will take the power away. In the same way, Ganesh ji is in charge of obstacles. Vignesha means the Lord of obstacles. It doesn't mean remover of obstacles. It's two different things. Ganesh ji can create trouble also. Ganesh ji can remove trouble also. Electric department can supply you power. They can take power off. Lakshmi can give you money and she can take money off. Ganesh can create problem and he can remove. It's like both the side. Because Ganesha created problem in the journey of Ravana, Ganesha was named Vignesha. The master of problems. So don't think when we worship these Devi Devatas, everything will be cleared. They can create problem also and they can give problem. Like for example, Lakshmi. Many people in North India, they worship Lakshmi alone. Ma Lakshmi, But Lakshmi herself says in Vishnu Puran, if you worship me with Narayana, I will be very happy. You worship me alone, I am Chanchala, I will not stay anywhere. Lakshmi doesn't stay in one place. She keeps moving. It is a beautiful story how Lakshmi blesses people. We should understand. That is why Ravana made one mistake. He kidnapped Mother Sita alone. He is a stupid number one, fool. He should have kidnapped Mother Sita along with Ram. He would have been flourished. He would have been very happy. And that is what we Hare Krishna people do. We bring both of them to our house. We don't bring Radharani alone. We don't bring Sita alone. What we do, we bring Sita Ram, Ram Lakshman, Hanuman, Sita, Radha Krishna together. That one mistake Ravana did. Because Lakshmi is Chanchala. Anybody who goes behind Lakshmi alone, he always take that risks. Right? So, that's a beautiful story how Lakshmi blesses people. So, there was a farmer and he was having a peaceful life, very peaceful life. There were rains at the particular interval and he had enough of his harvest. Then he will harvest things and he was very happy. So one day his guru came and told, not guru, Jyotisha, astrologer came and told him, "Arey farmer, if you worship Lakshmi, you will get so many gold coins," which was true. So the farmer became very happy. If I do worship, if I worship Lakshmi, do I get? Yes, you worship Lakshmi, you will get gold coins. Okay, I can see that in your horoscope, gold coins are going to come. So the farmer became very happy and he started doing Lakshmi Puja. And next day morning he opened the door. He saw a gold coin right at his doorstep. Was like jumping in joy, he became very happy. He took that gold coin, he bit it, he checked it. Yes, it was real gold. He was happy. All of a sudden, he got a gold coin. And second day, he found another gold coin little far away. Wow, he was very happy, even more happier. Then his puja was continuing very sincerely. Then the third day, third gold coin, fourth gold coin, fifth gold coin. Wow. And in 9 days, he got 9 gold coins. That is all his fate. He is supposed to get 9 gold coins, he got 9 gold coins. But unfortunately, from the 10th day he was searching, I am sure somewhere there is a 10th gold coin, and he was looking for the 10th gold coin which was not there. He could not enjoy the 9 gold coins which he was possessing. Entire life he was searching for the 10th gold coin and died pathetically. This is Lakshmi Anugraha. This is how Lakshmi blesses. The farmer was very happy before getting the gold coins. Right? So this is all trap. This is how Devi Devatas work. you know, we will be believing some things are going to come and that's not there in our horoscope and it will never happen. So Ganeshji created trouble for Ravana and he was called as Vignesha. Okay. Then Parvati asked Lord Shiva, it's a beautiful story. I don't know how many of you know Vishnu Sahasranam, how many of you have heard Vishnu Sahasranam? No. There is a line in Vishnu Sahasranam which says, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Right? That's from Shiva Puran. The glories of Bhagavatam is explained. So, you know, on a lunch, Mother Parvati was serving Lord Shiva. So, Parvati took so many janmas. Feeling sleepy? Shreya and Shivas, feeling sleepy? No? Okay, I thought you slept off. Right. So Parvati, Mother Parvati took so many janmas. Here I can see many couple here in the screen, you know, like that. How many of you want same husband again and again for next 5 janmas? Same Prabhu as your husband. How many of you want? Nobody is moving. Huh? All the smiles also disappeared. Acha chalo. Okay, one Mataji answered, Lakshmikant Mataji. Okay. Right. Okay, how many Prabhus want the same Mataji again and again for next five lifetimes? Rajesh Kassa Prabhu, are you married? Okay, you want same Mataji for next 5 lifetime? Sure, Mataji is sitting next to you, that's why you are answering. Okay, if I ask this question in India, all the Prabhuji said no. Right? Anyway, so Parvati, Mother Parvati wanted the same, Parvati wanted Lord Shiva eternally. But unfortunately, in any of the janmas, Mother Parvati could not live with Lord Shiva. She didn't have that blessing. First she appeared as Bhuvaneshwari. And one day in Ilavrta Varsha, Bhagavatam says, that is where Lord Shiva used to live. Ilavrta Varsha is Kubera's planet. And in that place, Lord Shiva eternally resides, meditating on Sankarshana, Narayana. So, Bhuvaneshwari got married to Lord Shiva. This is her first janma. Then she saw Lord Shiva is murmuring something all the time, chanting some names all the time. And Bhuvaneshwari asked, Prabhu, what are you chanting? All the time you are chanting. Then Bhuvaneshwari said, Lord Shiva said, I am chanting Ram's name continuously. Then Bhuvaneshwari asked, who is Ram? What is his glories? Then all of a sudden, Lord Shiva, as though he has got 1,000 heads, he started speaking about Lord Ram so much, so beautifully glorifying Lord Ram. Then Bhuvaneshwari wanted to check whether it's all true. As they were conversing, all of a sudden, Bhuvaneshwari saw Lord Ram passing by. So Bhuvaneshwari wanted to test Lord Ram. So she immediately assumed the form of Mother Sita and went to Ram. She wanted to know how Ram will react, reciprocate, relate. So Bhuvaneshwari assumed the form of Mother Sita and she went next to Ram. And Ram said, Jagat Mata, why are you testing me? Please don't test me. I'm nothing in front of you. So Bhuvaneshwari became very happy. She came back to Lord Shiva, but she forgot to change the form back to Bhuvaneshwari. She came in the same form, in the Sita form to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva got up and paid Dandavat Namaskar and said, oh, Mate Janaki, please bless me. And Bhuvaneshwari said, Prabhu, Prabhu, I am your wife, don't fall at my feet. Then Lord Shiva said, no, nothing can be done. I have already seen you as my mother, so it's not possible to live in this lifetime. Chalo. So Bhuvaneshwari became she was rejected, so upset. So she meditated and took next janma as Mother Sati. And that story is there in Ram Bhagavatam, and you all know Sati what happened. And Sati also could not be there with Daksha's daughter. She could not stay with Lord Shiva. In that lifetime also they couldn't live together. And the third, she took many, many janmas, and one special janma is Parvati. Parvata Raja's daughter, Himalaya's daughter. Himavan and wife is Mainaka, and Parvati became their daughter. And right from a young age, she wanted to marry Lord Shiva. So she was eating only dry grass, tapasya. That's why you can see all our Goswamis and all, they have this undivided focus on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. We have divided focus. We have focus on Krishna, and we also focus on family, sometimes business, sometimes we have to pay attention to something else. We are not able, we are forced. But the Goswamis, they had undivided focus. Whenever Rupa Goswami takes the bead in his hand and starts chanting japa, minimum he will chant for 3 full days. 3 days and 3 nights not sleeping. And he will be sitting in the hot sun, in the rain, and he will not move. Enjoy the japa. Tears will be gliding down his cheeks, and how many of you feel that ecstasy? You take your japamala and you don't feel like keeping it back. 16th round is over, let me chant 20, and 20 is over. Come on, I'm going to chant 30 rounds. And tears pump out of your eyes by chanting Krishna's name. Nothing happens to us like that. So he chants, 3 days, 4 days, hot sun. And one day Sanatan Goswami came to meet his younger brother, and he saw Rupa Goswami is sitting in a hot sun and chanting, and Radharani is holding her cloth to protect Rupa Goswami. Sanatan Goswami became very angry. He shouted at Rupa Goswami, what kind of a person you are? We are supposed to serve their lordships, and you are making them serve you? Which is very true. We give one banana to Krishna in the morning and say, Krishna, please protect me. So it became Krishna's responsibility to protect us for 1 full day. And another day we give a good lunch and say, Krishna, protect me. He protects us for 1 week. We chant few names and Krishna he has to protect us for entire Janma. Who is serving whom now actually? Are we really serving the Lord, or the Lord is serving us more? Actually, Lord is serving more. It's a competition. And always Lord wins the competition. He serves his devotees more. And he's so happy about it. Right? So anyway, third life, she took only dry leaves. That's why her name is Aparna. She was eating only dried leaves. And she was meditating, and somehow the marriage was fixed. Anybody from Tamil Nadu, Madurai, had been to Madurai Meenakshi temple? Anyone? You can type in your, yes, Anuradha Ramaswamy. Name itself shows you are from Tamil Nadu. Okay. Right. So many are them from Tamil Nadu. And the wedding took place in near Kedarnath. There is a beautiful temple called Triyugi Narayan, Gauri Kund. Very beautiful temple. It's called Triyugi Narayan. You can see the deity. Vishnu stands in the middle, and he caught like Parvati's arm and Lord Shiva's arm, and they're getting married. Right? And Vishnu, that's why she is called Vaishnavi, because she is younger sister of Vishnu. So actually Vishnu conducted that marriage, Lord Shiva and Parvati's wedding. Somehow, so the wedding was fixed, everything was fixed, and Parvati, she is meditating on Lord Shiva for janmas and janmas. Unfortunately, in that particular janma, she has not met Lord Shiva. And they didn't had any smartphone also. So Lord Shiva had not met Parvati. Parvati had not met Lord Shiva. And she doesn't know how Lord Shiva will look. So the wedding is arranged. Everything is arranged.